Hello. That was fast. Let's see anyone jumps in. It's only going to be fence searchers. No one but that's all right. Let's say hello to the whoever shows up. Hope you're having a nice Saturday. I was sitting here racking my brain on the Pokemon box. I said, "Let me go live. See who's out there." Wait a couple minutes. Had to change my background, so no more Fen picture. I had to get the something from our boots on the ground. Past. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, yeah, I guess so. All right, that's cool. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, thanks. Let's see what's happening. It's so interesting reading everybody's stuff on Discord. Some people have some way out ideas. Definitely seems like the Fen box is the least given the least attention. I'm guessing a lot of that has to do with the demographic. I think it's a younger group, but because every time I leave Discord and I come back after a couple days, the Fen box has the least stuff for me to catch up on. But I'm not even really working on that box. I mean, I have my solution. I have had it for a couple, since what, November, and I haven't really changed it. So I'm sticking with that one. But Pokemon, that's a different story. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This was a goose egg, this picture. Pretty much grid searched all that that's in the view plus the same, double that. Nothing. I always say, I always get on here and I say, I don't think anyone's going to be out there today. And we always get some people, but today might actually be the day no one gets on here. We went the weekend of December 14th. It was pretty spur of the moment. We just decided like on Wednesday or Tuesday that we were going to go because of course I was convinced I had the spot. And it was really a great location. A lot of stuff lined up there, but it wasn't it. I didn't really realize till I got back home and was home a couple days. And then I started thinking, and there's a couple things I realized that was probably wrong. And so, but it was a good trip. We stopped in New Orleans, and my son, he does some gambling, so he was able to get us a comp at Caesars in New Orleans, so we were able to stay there for free, and then that was fun. Walked on Bourbon Street. It was really I mean, I went there as a kid, so I had no real memory. So this is my first time as an adult. I mean, I gotta be honest, New Orleans was pretty dirty. I wasn't really a fan. Canal Street was cool. But Bourbon Street was like, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm just I've aged out of that. I don't know. But we walked all the way down and then it was a fun time. And then on the way back we stopped in Biloxi. We drove, so we stopped in Biloxi and he got comped at the Harrah's in Biloxi. So we had two free nights on the trip, which was cool. We got four. We got these JCB people or Fen people on here. I know Hooley's both, but if you hear me, let me see. I saw David last night was he did a 3 hour show. He had a lot to talk about. I didn't see that till today. I mean, I didn't watch the whole 3 hours. I couldn't do that. Yeah, this was on the other side of the Mississippi, north, I guess, northwest of Baton Rouge. David Piasano, he had a long video. The brains, the brains of the operation. It's a funny name. I'll give it to him. No one else out there. This may be a quick one. Anybody want to talk Pokemon, Forest Fen? I'll talk word search too. I'm probably not going to go search for that one, so I can talk plenty on that. Although everything's been put out there anyways, for the most part, I guess. I mean, I'm sure some people are holding stuff back, but K Pro's been in that group. I shouldn't say just K Pro. I mean, it's a lot of people working on it, but they've been very open on the word search. It's kind of new school treasure hunting. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not, you know, it's nice to be in the community and share, but some things I don't know. I'm definitely not sharing that much. I shared a little bit what I could. I've lost my subscribers. 126 of them. When is next boots on the ground? I don't know. It might not be until spring. Although I mean I'm on a spot for Pokemon that is accessible. I'm just not at the point where I'm feeling really confident. I'm only feeling about 50%. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if that gets pushed up to about 70, 80%, then I'll go out there and give it a look. I mean, I still would kind of like to go out there and just eliminate it from my mind and just at least I go out there and say, okay, knock that off and or cross it off. I mean, as a potential. And then I've got another one and kind of the same thing. I'm just not sold on it. It's tough, I don't like anything in the Buffalo River up there. I definitely don't like the hemmed in hollow. And it seems like it's been pretty slim pickings on where people are searching. Um, I mean, I guess there's some people have mentioned other states, but it just seems like everyone that's really talking about it is mostly in Buffalo River or in Arkansas somewhere. And that's just not for me. I'm a big believer of he said he hit it on his trip to Houston. I don't buy into that includes coming back from Houston. So that would leave everything out in Arkansas. Um, to me, it's clear. Like I take the literal approach. What did the man say? That's what he said. Then that's what I'm going to go by. I'm not going to interpret it to include other stuff. I don't know. And I could be totally wrong. Let's see what that paragraph says. Okay, it's right at the top of page 217. It says, because of all the precious memories I had of my road trip to Houston, right? To Houston, I decided it would be fitting to leave a treasure box not far from some place I had visited along that journey. That journey is his trip to Houston, grammatically within that sentence. That's what he tells us. So I understand people are saying that that includes the entire trip or round trip, but I personally don't believe that. I don't think you can read it that way. What say you? What do you three people think out there? No, none. And then I got a lot of questions on this Pokemon box. It's funny because I went out there on boots on the ground. I was so damn sure. And now I'm not sure about anything. Seems like. I mean, what's the clapping feverishly? What is the Portland reference? Why is that in there? What the hell is Eiffel Tower and Empire State Building about? Those are bothering me. What's the Coltrane reference? No. Well, maybe we'll have to do this another time. I'll wait a couple more minutes, see if anyone jumps in, but doesn't look like anyone's joining us today. I wish, some people keep talking about, I see people mentioning Florida. Man, I wish. What if the lion's share is in Florida? How great would that be? I mean, for me, maybe not for anyone else out there, but okay, Larry would like that. I know. I think that there's some dude Gate or something. He's from Florida. That's on Discord. And there are a couple people. I don't jump in and talk on Discord though on the speakeasies. I just listen. I'll chat in the chat room there, chat area, but I don't talk. As far as the word search, I am a strong believer of Lake Tahoe. Not a fan of Ohio, and I mean I'm not gonna I don't want to disparage Ohio, just saying. Um I don't think it would be there. And it's the word, the state's right in the word search. And the word with all those things that have the word search that for Lake Tahoe, did you read? No, I did not. I'm probably not going to be honest, just because I know the chances of me going out to Tahoe are very, very low. And there are other people that are so far ahead of me on this thing that have read RPO, and I might watch the movie, but I've been giving 95% of my focus over to the Pokemon. I'm all about the Pokemon. Oh my goodness, we lost somebody. Uh-oh. We're down to three. This is a sinking ship here. And I was I think I may have said something in Discord about this, but when I found out it was about 400 pages, I was like, no way I'm going to read that. No way. Not that I'm not capable of reading, I don't want to sound like a dummy, but I just have no desire to sit and read a book that is that long, you know. And that, let's be honest, there's plenty of other people out there that have been into that kind of stuff. D&D and Ready Player One and even not Pokemon, what's the other thing? Whatever, those games and that, they're just gonna have an advantage probably. Illiterate, yeah, I'm not illiterate. I can read. Did you finish the book? Are you done with it? Was it worth it? The problem with an audiobook, I think I'd have trouble focusing on the listening. I think my mind would drift. It's kind of like when I have radio on in the car, I'm off thinking about other stuff half the time. We had a couple people jump in, see if we can get this to double digits maybe. Feel free, if you're new here, feel free to jump in and chat. It's worth it. Okay. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. Have you bought the Unbreakable Thread? I thought about it. Guys, we're talking Pokemon. We're talking Forest Fen box. Good to do all chores, cleaning laundry. Yeah. I was doing language for a while I did that kind of stuff in the house. Julio, when are you going boots on the ground? Yeah, so the word search, I mean, do people know that the coordinates are in the word search? I don't know if that's being kept. I've heard one person say it like in one of the chat rooms. Oh, okay. Thank you for the info, for the advice. Out loud? Sorry. What was I saying, guys? Oh yeah, the I think the word search I was talking about. I think no one says that the coordinates are in the word search. So that was kind of, I've seen one person mention it, but they're there. I just don't see how that could be. Certainly it's not coincidental. If you take all the numbers in the word search that are written backwards, you get 3, 9, 12, and 0. So there's four numbers written backwards in the word search. 3, 9, 12, and 0. That's the middle of Lake Tahoe. Well, basically, it's just off when you zoom in, but um, it's almost right where the circle in the coin is, like 200 feet, 200 feet from that corner. So that's how close. So that is not. There's no way that that's a coincidence. I mean, he had to have planned that. 39. If you type in 39 comma negative 120, it'll take you right there to the bend on the state line. And on top of that, you got the word state twice, by state. I don't know. It seems to me it seems pretty clear. I don't know about the ciphers. I mean, I don't really do ciphers. We got this. Anyone else want to jump in with any thoughts on word search or well, on anything. I mean, I haven't done anything on the AT. I've looked at the map for 5 minutes, but we can talk about it if you want to talk about it. No, we're losing them. There's not even football. Oh, there is football. Is there football on today? Playoff football? Is that part of the problem? Got some at 4:30 and at 8 we got games today. Oh yeah, the Steelers are on at 8. Hold on. All right. To what? Yeah, so 39 negative 120 puts you right there at Lake Tahoe. I mean, even if the numbers weren't reversed, it still would be strong. But the fact that those are the only reversed numbers and you get that, that's it's got to be on purpose. I don't see how that's by chance. At 8, yeah, Steelers Ravens. Yeah, my Dolphins, they blew it again. I mean, for the last week, they needed help to get in. They needed Denver to lose, which Denver didn't because the Chiefs sat everybody. And the Dolphins couldn't even beat the lowly Jets, who I think the Jets had like 3 wins going into the game. So, no, not our season. Hasn't been the Dolphins' season in decades. What are you going to do? Anybody else want to jump in? Hoolie's wearing out the chat. Want someone join and let's talk some JCB or Fen. We can talk Fen if you want. I mean, we can talk about anything in here, pretty much. No religion, no politics. Other than that, we can chat about things. Oh, I put the comment. I know you saw it, Hooli, because I saw you comment on there. But let me tell you something. That interview with K Pro and Mike that JCB did, that structure question is a major issue. I mean, major for him. If you really analyze the way he reacts, he had to do a double take. He had to come back and ask the question again to make sure he was getting it correct. There's no doubt that that's a problem. So Mike asked if it was any structure, and he goes, "Do you have to enter a structure, right? Like a building?" He was thinking in his mind, and Mike was like, "Well, yeah, no man." And then Christie goes, "Well, let's just cross that off. No structure, no veering off the trail," she says, right? And then JCB comes back like, "Wait, what? What do you mean?" Or whatever he said. He was confused. So my guess is there's something that he's not considering a structure. So in his mind, a structure is like a full-on building. But there could be something else that's maybe not a full-on building, but something that is man-made off trail that he may have used. I'm almost, man, I think that was such a giveaway, and that's exactly why he won't put it on his site. That's exactly why. Because it's confusing and misleading for someone. I think that's a huge, huge thing. That guy who's making those weekly updates, TC, is it Fox? I don't know, TC something. Thanks to him for putting that up there because that was a big deal. I don't think enough people are, you know, giving that the attention it deserves. That is a huge, huge issue. At least one box is a natural opening Nookers Unite. Yeah. Yeah. And I went through because, I've been kind of doing this piecemeal as far as the information that's out there. And I actually sat down and watched like 6 interviews or whatever, all the ones that are on the Discord. And there was stuff that I hadn't realized he said, it'll get you pretty close. You can stay at home and almost pinpoint a couple of the boxes, he said. So that's kind of a big deal too. I really don't think you're going to be walking anywhere near more than a mile. to any box. Maybe the lion's share be closer to 2 miles or something, but I think the smaller boxes are going to be, you know, less than a mile of walking. TC Wolf, yeah, that's right, not fox. Some other four-legged canine. It's a fox a canine? I don't even know. But that structure comment is, and what's funny is when I saw it, was it I'm so lost. Was it this morning? I think so. Um, yeah, it was this morning, right? When I saw it, that's one of my solutions that I'm messing around with. That kind of helps. At least gives me a little more clarity. So we'll see. Hey, we got seven guys. Come on, someone jump in and talk a little bit. Give Hooli a break. Welcome. We'd love to hear what you have to say. We're just sitting here shooting the breeze, talking JCB. Fen, if you want. We touch on Fen uh, to keep. Some people just want to keep talking about it. That's all right. I don't mind it. But I'd rather talk JCB because I want to figure out this Pokemon box. I don't know, I don't know why I'm so into the Pokemon box. There's something about, I don't know, the story. Oh, here's another thing about the Pokemon box I got an issue with. I posted this in the Discord today. He apparently, I'm assuming, and it seems like what everyone's doing is they're looking up these Pokemon and seeing what their habitats are to try to figure out what kind of, setting the trail is in, that the box is in. But, he starts the story with meeting a Froakie at a jazz bar. So, I mean, we know that's not the Froakie's habitat. So, how serious can we take him when he mentions any Pokemon? So, can we necessarily attribute a specific habitat to a specific Pokemon? I don't know. I think maybe anything goes here. If he found Froakie at a jazz bar, then Ninjask. It doesn't necessarily have to be woods where the Ninjask is at, right? It just I don't know what the rules are to this story. Or is it just the Froakie, for the sake of the story, is at a jazz bar, but everyone else uses their normal habitat? I mean, I don't know. Also, what's the deal with the what is it, Diggory Kirk's and Alice's looking glass? What's that about? I mean, I know he's trying to say it's a portal, but is there some kind of clue there? Tough crowd today, Holy. I appreciate you hanging out. I think we might, I'll go a few more minutes, but it's not working out today. But there's a lot of why, what's the deal with the counterfeit card? I definitely think there's something to the intro paragraph where he's talking about sitting in the back with his grandparents, the raccoon seeing him from 7 feet up an oak tree. I mean, I think all that stuff means something. I just don't know what. A natural opening. Oh yeah, yeah, I read that already. So, and then in one interview, what's that interview? I think Este Froggy brought this up in one of his videos. JCB said a combination of urban and rural. I don't know what the heck that means. I mean, is it possible this is in a park in the middle of the city? like Central Park or something like that, or what's the big park? Memorial Park, is it in Houston? Or I don't know, whatever other, maybe New Orleans has a park. I wouldn't have thought that was on the table, but I guess it could be. Houston does have that Buffalo Bayou too running through there. Now I'm a certain proponent or believer in the no dogs allowed on the trail interpretation of what Fergie says. Definitely. I mean, you got to have certain absolutes, right? At least to narrow down. You can always come off of them if you get evidence to the contrary, but I think you have to have a way to narrow down the options, right? So I think that's a good one to use. Seeing any MABA stiffs is going to be unlikely, and that's because there's a no dog sign. I think that's correct. I agree with that completely, and I'd be hard pressed to come off of that belief. Now the Bouffalon, that's a whole nother issue. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Bouffalon. I know what some people are, people are saying because it's called Buffalo. He's saying don't expect to see Buffalo just because it's called Buffalo. But I don't know. I don't know. It could be a hint to the reader, perhaps, that we won't see Buffalon because no buffaloes involved either physically or by name. I don't know. Could be either one. He could be closer to an urban area versus rural. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. He didn't say in a city, but in the most recent interview I saw, he did say, or a combination of rural and urban. So I was like, a combination. I don't know what that means. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly my solutions are focusing, in more remote areas. Certainly, this one on my picture where we went boots on the ground was pretty remote. Whole lot of nothing going on there. All right, guys, don't be shy. Jump in the chat. Any questions on the JCB or Fen? I got time. I'm here a while. If people will, I say it all the time. This is a viewer-driven show, so if people stay engaged, I'll stick around. But if not, we'll have to shut it down. It's funny, I look back at the Fen hunt and with JCB, my memory's not even, I feel like I've watched some of those interviews a couple times and I still can't really remember exactly what he said. It's weird. When it felt like when I watched the Fen stuff, I'd watch it once, maybe twice, and I'd have the whole thing practically memorized. Hey, Kelly, welcome. Kelly and Hooley's good with the stuff. But yes, it was in the ebook, I guess, either on the front page of the ebook or on the cover or something like that. But it said in the Rocky Mountains. Now, my solution for Fen is in the Rockies, so I mean, but it did say that. Yeah, I don't think John actually said it as far as, you know, auditorily, if he verbalized it in an interview, no, I don't think so. But it was in the ebook release for the Fen box. I assume you have I assume you have a solution that's outside of the Rocky Mountains. That may be a synopsis from Apple. Yeah, I don't know. I think the JCB or whatever his team will control what's on there, but I really don't know. I'm just speculating, so I really shouldn't say. But but I think even in the story, it's implied. I mean, he certainly doesn't say it, but yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's implied because he talks about how he went to or he's been in all four of the forest fence search states. Right. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's not in a different state. In fact, when I first started this, I mean, very early on, like day one or two, I was looking on the East Coast, actually, thinking he may have done something differently, but I'm back to the Rockies. It seems, to me anyways, it seems clear that that's where it is. But to each their own. I don't know for sure, obviously. We'll find out, I guess, in June when I go out there at once the snow melts. Oh, you don't have a solution yet. Just be great to narrow it down. Yeah. I mean, I think he's done a decent job of narrowing down. Let's assume the Rockies for Fenn. The word search, I guess he didn't really narrow it down. You have to figure it out. The Pokemon, he's narrowed it down. And the AT, he narrowed it down. I mean, granted, the AT covers a bunch of states, but still, it's better than not having anything. Hold on, my dog's freaking out here, mailman or something. Kane, get down. Stop. Um, yes, I just found that says Rocky Mountains. Yeah, there you go. Off. Stop. Silly dog. Oh goodness. Kane, off. All right, sorry guys. Um, I guess to me it's either in the Rocky Mountains as an ode to we could put it in place. Davio, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I mean, I tend to lean towards even if he hadn't said in the ebook what they said, assuming that they put it out, I'd still lean to it being in one of the four states. I mean, I think this is an homage to Fenn. He's not. I think the Fenn box, he's not really making it. Sure, he found the spot, but I think he's trying to stay true to the Fenn search, and you can kind of see that through the poem with all the same words and he used. So, anyways, that's just my take on it. It's definitely not in the physical book. The physical book, I got it right here. I keep it right next to me. Always looking at this thing. Let's see here. Well, I hold on. As a final nod, it says my poem is inspired by my own experiences searching in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. So I mean that line, it doesn't come straight out and say that that's where he hit it, but I mean it kind of does. It says it's inspired by his experience in the Rocky Mountains. So take that as you will, but that's the line. And oh, and then there's another line in there that says, as you may be curious, I have traveled to all four states in Forrest Fenn's treasure search area. While you don't need to know Forrest's poem in order to solve this one, you may want to go online and read it to give yourself some additional context. So there you go. Sure. All right, we hit the double digits here. What anyone else want to jump in? Davio, where are you in Yellowstone for the Fen box? Is that one in Yellowstone? I guess he would have said that was not a fact if it wasn't by now. I don't know it. I don't know if he's come out and, well, you mean the language, yeah. Yellowstone, all right. See, I've mentioned this before, but I don't, no way am I sending anything to these PR people. I'm paranoid. Got some guys making, a runner there answering, taking in emails and reading. Not that they'll think your solution's any better than the hundreds others they see every day, but still, I don't know. I'm just a little paranoid about that. I mean, Forrest showed people emails too, so I would be thrilled. Oh yeah, Kelly. I mean, I think, look, again, I don't want to lead anyone. I mean, obviously I feel confident because that's where I'm searching, but man, I don't think there's any reason to think that it's outside the Rocky Mountains. Text chat while talking. That's what I do in the Discord. I don't get in. I don't talk in the room in the speakeasy. I get in the chat spot. Anybody have any Pokemon stuff they want to share or want to chat about? I'm all about Pokemon. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Speaking of possessive, I was also wondering like the Camper's Blaze. That I don't know if it should have been. Certainly could have been a S apostrophe because the way it's written, he's only talking about one camper, but the campers. It could be any Camper's Blaze, right? Oh, you only got the Finch. I got you. Okay. It's unfortunate all the mess with the books and everything. Goodness. The publishing, all the mistakes. Really, especially that Santa Fe, Arizona one. That's like, how does that even get out the door? I don't know. But it seems like I hear people have been getting books, so looks like people are it's coming back around and books are being delivered. Does anyone think has anyone done any AT? Think it's outside of Vermont? Or does everyone pretty much think that that trail is the answer and it's somewhere there around that trail in Vermont? I'll be honest. The only thing I know from the AT is the 5 minutes I looked at the map and what everyone else says on Discord. That is one I've done just about zero on. I've got full solutions for Pokemon and Forest. I got a 90% solution, I think, for the word search. Camper's Blaze to me implies there may be something. Yeah, yeah, it could be. But gosh, so much could be a Camper's Blaze, right? I mean, goodness. A porta potty could be a Camper's Blaze, right? That's very broad. Loop trail is a pretty common thing. Yeah. Yeah, the poem is intriguing. I think he did a good job with it. Although some of the stuff in the beginning of the chapter, I wasn't really sure. He talks about Japan and all that. That might be part of the lion's share. Looks, there's Japan in in every small box chapter. I mean, well, do they talk about Japan in the AT chapter? So in the Pokemon, obviously that's Japanese. And they talk, and then past and future, they talk about Bitcoin and the guy who made it. That's Japanese. And then in Fen, they talk about him going to Japan. AT, I don't know. So maybe the Japan thing has something to do with the lion's share, since it's in all of the smaller chapters. What do you think? The map vandals, yeah, that's fuck. I mean, sorry, that's pretty screwed up. I mean, I'm not laughing. I'm just saying that's one. It's juvenile, but two, it can be dangerous. You can get someone lost in the woods. Let me see if he talks about Japan here. I don't see any Japan. Interesting. So the AT box chapter does not discuss Japan at all. Perhaps where it's hidden has something to do with Japan. Or not. Who the hell knows? My guess is the eight watch, and there must be Fen people not wanting to talk about it. JCB, I don't know. We got Davio, Hooley, and Kelly. Who are the other five out there? Come on, guys, jump in. He loves Japan. Yeah, right? It's funny. I just started learning Japanese a couple months ago. I've kind of put the brakes on that though. It's not that easy. It's pretty hard. Got a little streak on Duolingo. I was doing this other app. Um, anybody's been reading our Unbreakable thread? Hey Brian, welcome. It's good to have you. Boxes from Japan. What you mean the puzzle boxes that the treasures are hidden in, or you mean the Appalachian one is a Japanese box? Oh, there you go. Well, then if that's true, then there's the connection. What about the Pokemon picture? Anybody have anything on that? That picture's driving me, and I think everybody else that's working on it crazy. The designs. Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, so Japan's got to have some kind of tie-in. I don't know what. I still haven't read the whole first part one. I'm getting around to it. I've read a little bit here and there, but still waiting. Oh yeah, that's right, Kelly. It's in the text or something. JCB, not. Well, this is you'd have to. I don't know if you've seen the picture on Discord, Kelly. This is definitely some kind of clue because it's like a picture on a picture or a smushed down picture. So there's definitely something in that photo. Insanity, yeah. Pokemon is too much for me. In Japan, in Wyoming, huh? There was an internment camp in Japan, in Wyoming. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. This is for sure a clue. That picture. You can see Mewtwo in it. Um, and then other people see other things. I haven't said this before, but I'll say it here. I don't care. The picture has like on the far left, thanks to my brilliant Japanese skills, there seems to be a bill, like what looks like a bill on the far left, like dollar bill, but it's a Japanese and it has a Japanese character on it. The Japanese character, from what I can tell, says the word negative, which then I ran the picture through one of these negative photo apps. You could do all kinds of editing, and one of them is a negative to make it negative. I tried that, nothing. Super and Kelly Forrest taught me that one. You did the chase. Huh? Oh, Kelly, you're a fence searcher? I guess so. If the only my guess is if someone's only purchased the Fen box, that they must be a Fen searcher. So that was a silly question on my part. Where were you, Kelly? What was your solution for Fen? Were you in Wyoming or what? Where were you? Mine was I was in the park. So yeah, I was in Wyoming in the park. Although not on the same end as 9 Mile Hole. I was in the northeast section. Oh wow, really? That's cool. Well, listen to this. My son and I, we went out to we live in Florida. So we went out to Yellowstone 8 times in a year and a half. So we got to talk about obsessed. We got a little crazy. Yeah, see, yeah, we flew into Denver the first couple times, drove to Cody, and then after that, we started flying into Bozeman or Salt Lake. It's just a little better for where for what we were doing. Colorado, yeah, God, I went through so many solutions in my head in that area, and Cody too. What's the mountain, the hill there where the Buffalo Bill Hill with the statue at the top is like a radio stations inside or something. Forget what it's called. Cedar Hill, maybe Cedar. I don't know. I forget. Man, my memory has gone kaputs. I used to have that shit. Boom, like my phone number. Oh yeah, it's beautiful, no doubt about it. I was northeast, right by the entrance, right there, just southwest of the northeast entrance. That was mine and my son's solution or whatever search area. Well, no, we didn't go up there. That was just one of my spots that I went through. My very first solution. So we went to Cody, our first trip, and my first solution was at Pahasca Teepee. So I had the entrance there to the park as Warm Waters Halt, and then came down home of Brown. Does the TP and the whole thing. And I was convinced that scrapbook, I think 90 about George Dabbich was about Pahaska Teepee because Forrest said it happened out there just east of Yellowstone or something like that. So, anyways, our search was at Pahaska Teepee, and we got out there. It was a disaster. We ended up not even searching. We flew all the way out there and didn't even search. It was terrible. Lookout Mountain in Golden, yeah, that's one I kind of looked in. Although I never did much in Colorado for long. I was always in Wyoming. What Golden? Golden might be a good place for JCB's Fen box. I don't know. Yeah, Fen. I don't know. Rascal might be putting it nicely. He definitely fibbed for sure. There's no doubt about it. And the solution was, assuming 9 Mile holes was the spot, and I know there's debate. I'm not really going to debate it, but assuming just for argument that it was, that solution's just crapola. Man, where are my loyal 15 followers today? Not that I'm not happy with you guys, but we usually have a little more than this. It's really, but I'm glad we got looks like a couple new people. Geoduck, isn't that a Pokemon? Yeah, Buffalo Bill Monument. That's right. That's what it was. Yeah, that was one of those that you wanted it to be it, right? So I would search it and try to make clues around it, making it fit, but we all know that's not the way you're gonna make it work. You need to let the clues lead you to the spot. That's my dog food on its way. All right. God, I loved when scrapbooks would drop. That was probably one of my favorite parts is working on the scrapbooks and trying to see any hidden messages or interpret some things. And I'll go to the grave saying I figured out some scrapbooks. I know no one believed me, but that's all right. Geoduck. Are you looking for the Pokemon box? Or you just happen to have like a Pokemon? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Geodude. Wait, is Geoduck a Pokemon or not? Hold on a second. I think Geodude is like the first evolution of Golem, no? Geoduck. Is that food? It's a clam. It's a type of clam? What the hell? Okay. Geodude. Well, I am right about Geodude. He is the first form of Golem, I think. Yeah, we that was such a good time, those trips. All right, so what we got? All right. I guess we got everyone chatting. Seven. One, two, three, four, five. A couple people not chatting. That's all right. Hooli, have you done any work on the AT? I mean, I haven't done work, but I just want to chat about it because I don't really have much to say about the word search other than I think it's in Lake Tahoe. The coordinates are in the word search, and that's that. I have no reason to look anywhere else. I'm a firm believer he wouldn't put Ohio in the word search if it was in Ohio. Oh, Kelly, that is so my question because I have solutions that you've been super. Yeah, I hear you, Huli. Understood. Um, yeah, the national park thing. Well, I don't know if you saw it in the Discord. I put up a poll, and the results of that poll were, I think 25 people thought he would not put it in a national park, and only six thought he would. And that included fence searchers and non-fence searchers. So I thought the reason I spread it out is because I figured fence searchers would be much more hesitant, right? They'd be more likely to think he would not put them in a national park, considering what happened with the fence search. But non-fence searchers pretty much the same way. So it was pretty even. Ohio's crazy with Brown's solutions. What? There's some Brown stuff in the word search, but that's still, it's weird because one, why wouldn't he exclude it right off the get go? Um, and then you know, I don't know a lot about national parks, but the ones I've been in, you pay. Uh, and when he was asked a question about paying, that's another one he had a little trouble with actually. He said theoretically you might have to pay, but then not necessarily. So I really don't know what the hell that means. Um, and then in another interview, they were talking about metal detecting, and he was kind of chuckling. He said, "No, you don't really need a metal detector. I know people will take them anyways, but if you're somewhere you're not supposed to metal detect, then don't metal detect, right?" So he's kind of looking out for people telling them not to do things they shouldn't be doing. Well, if he cares that much, then he shouldn't be leaving treasures in national parks, right? I mean, I don't know. So, he talks about he had lawyers read into about the publishing of the olive jar, and I'm sure he has freaking top-notch lawyers, and I'm sure he was advised about national parks. So the real question is John the kind of guy who would just say, fuck it, I'm going to put it in the national park. I don't care. And that's that. I don't know. He's not 80. It's a whole different thing with John. Forrest was 80. No one was going to do anything to him. This is a little different, and there's a lot less value, right? It's give or take 10% of the value of the Fen chest, one of the smaller boxes. So would he go through all that for one of the smaller boxes? You would think not, but I'm still not convinced that he wouldn't. Yeah, national. I mean, yeah, like I mean, this is just one park, but when I went to Yellowstone, it was $30. So to be on the lookout for free, yeah, right, exactly. He seems more cautious. Yeah, he definitely seems cautious, and I think he's genuine, and he want and him wanting people to have a good time and to be safe and not really have anything happen to them. So putting it on national park lands, or it just seems like he wouldn't do it. But I don't know why I can't convince myself of that. Something, I guess, nagging at me saying, well, he might. Yeah, he definitely gave. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, props to Mike and Christy. That interview gave me more info than most of the other interviews, that's for sure. That structure interview was, I mean, question was huge, 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 huge. Pickle jar still wants to be inclusive. Yes, at sign. Enter at National Park after 6 for free. Oh, is that the deal, Geoduck? Drive is the most dangerous, not the park. Well, that's true, but for a kid from Florida walking around Yellowstone, my son and I were not we were heads on a swivel out there with our bear spray at the ready. Got a slightly used to it by trip, 6 and 7, but yeah, no time where we were always alert. It works every time, Joe Duck. Yeah, but it sure is freaking hard to search in the dark, man. That's the problem. And here it's going to be interesting because since he didn't bear anything, he's going to have to have found some clever ways to conceal these boxes. In the hollow of a tree, I think it's an obvious one. Maybe in a log, in the hollowed out log that's on the ground, covered by some rocks. Those are probably typical, the obvious ways he could have hit it. But there was an interview I also saw where it kind of sounded like he almost came off as confident that nothing would be found till spring. Because he said, well, it's one of those questions where they ask him, well, is anybody close? They ask him that in every interview, seems like. And one of his answers was something like, well, I don't have any evidence that anyone's close, but there's snow on the ground and, a lot of people shouldn't really be out there searching. So maybe in the spring. He said something like that. So I don't know if that means all the boxes are under snow. I don't think, I mean, certainly you don't think the Pokemon would be, no matter where it's at in that route, wouldn't be inaccessible. I wouldn't think. So is there something else that I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. Probably not national park or state park. Stonework craft. You heard that too, which implies it's on the ground. Yeah, but then is my son here? Hold on a second. I don't think he's here. I got a 17 or 16. He'll be 17 in March, but no, he's not here. Okay. Um, I heard that too, which implies it's on the ground. I don't know if it's on the ground though, because then you got all kinds of, I don't know. It's hard to me, maybe it's on a ledge of rock covered by rock, or I don't think it'd be on ground, like ground, maybe on rock. That's the ground, but not on dirt. It would sink. It could get covered up. I don't know. A closed campground, but yeah, I don't. You mean hidden in a closed campground, like closed as in abandoned, not running anymore, or just after hours? I mean, after hours, there'll still be people there, though. I don't know. Although I still feel, I've said this in the past, I still feel pretty confident that most of the small boxes will be found by the end of the summer. No access. Okay. Oh, construction? But then how did he get in there and hide it? They started construction since he went in? I mean, I guess that's possible. That would certainly, if he knows about that, then that certainly would be a reason for him to be confident no one's found it and won't until spring. I don't know. It's driving me crazy. I've had a lot of in my head conflicting things. I don't even know anymore. Good. Yeah. 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 I haven't thought about a closed campground or somewhere where there's construction. That's a good thought. But now if they're doing construction, what if they end up, you know, demolishing or bulldozing or whatever they're doing out there to where the box is? That would be a problem. I mean, you gotta, I think you have to go into it thinking he's thought of these things and he's aware of these possibilities. And I'd venture to say he put more effort into the prep than Forrest did. And I don't mean just collecting the stuff and hiding it. I mean the legal part and the due diligence and knowing what's going on in the place I'm hiding it. Is something coming up here? Is something, you know, I would bet he spent a lot of time on that. And we know he talked to lawyers. Well, Geoduck, you don't, I mean, not necessarily. You don't know where he hid it. Maybe he hid it up in a tree somewhere. I kind of thought, and I don't mean any disrespect. I don't know if you've gotten out there yet to look, but I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, well, how could he possibly hide it if he didn't bury it, right? Well, when I got out there, we went looking in December. I was like, well, I guess if there's, there's a lot of places and trees you could hide it. But yeah, see, the other thing with a tree is it's got to stay up there. How do you make it stay up there? Only if it's inside the tree, right? Isn't that the only way it stays up there? I mean, I guess if you could somehow wedge it between one of the tree branches and the main trunk or whatever, or between a couple branches, I guess in theory it could stay up there. But any strong wind or something like that, or could just knock it right out. So if it's not buried, can't find it in the snow, it can't be just sitting there. So yeah, not yet, waiting for Easter. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand Geoduck, of course, but I just don't think it's hidden. I think they're all off. Well, I don't want to say all, but I think these are off the ground somehow. I don't think they're on the ground because if it's on the ground, it's either has to be in a tree, right at the bottom of a tree, or in a log. Technically, that wouldn't be on the ground. That would be in the tree that's on the ground. But um, or maybe on the ground covered by rocks. Because if you cover it with leaves, I mean that's not going to work, right? The leaves are just going to blow away. Between some tree roots, yeah, could be. I don't know. It's very difficult. Like for instance, this isn't really a clue. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal if I do give away if it is a clue. But if in the Pokemon chapter, there's somewhere where he says, I think it's at the beginning. He goes, "This was my first long road trip, and I brimmed to the rim with excitement." Okay, I brimmed to the rim with excitement. My guess is that that's kind of how it's hidden. He's telling us so it's maybe stuck between some things, and all that's poking out is the top of the box, right? That's kind of how I picture it. So maybe there's two branches or you know of a tree or something like that, and it's just wedged in between them, super tight. I don't know, and that it's down in there, but you can still see the top of the box. A ridge, yeah, yeah, Dahlia, that's true. And he also, in that, I'll say one more thing. Let's see here. Oh no, wait, that's never mind. That's something else. But yeah, how it's hidden is going to be, assuming you're in the right spot, I think it's still going to be super hard to find it. To Houston. That's my take, man. A lot of people like Arkansas, but not me. It's basically a couple hours off of I-10. That's what I think. So you do like, I don't know, 100 miles either side of I-10, and you draw a little path to Houston. That's where I think it's in there. When he says he hit it not or close to one of those places he visited, I think a fair definition of close is 2 hours, right? I mean, I think anything more than 2 hours is probably not really close anymore. I think 2 hours you could say it's pretty close for this kind of venture, right? It might not be close to go to the doctor, but for a treasure hunt, I think 2 hours is reasonable. So I think it's 2 hours off basically I-10, say from Mobile to Houston. That's it. So that would put it in either Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, or Texas. AT is the trail box. Yeah, that's right. A lot of people have speculated that these boxes are in, if you know what Pelican cases are, those heavy duty cases. Seems reasonable to me. Yeah, from your car. I'm saying from the route that he took. So he said he hit it on somewhere close to where he went on his journey to Houston. I'm saying the location is 2 hours, no more than 2 hours from the path he took. But yes, once you're there, it's not more than 2 hours from your car, or 3 miles, I think. And my guess, I was telling someone this not the other day. I really think it's going to be no more than a mile, except maybe the big box. But the four small ones, I think you're going to walk less than a mile to the treasure from your car. Oh, and that's another thing. I heard Froggy Esteban talking on his video, and don't get me wrong, I like his videos. I mean, I don't agree with obviously none of us agree with what everyone says, but he was talking about the redwoods and how it has to be included. I'm like, I mean, I think you're really limiting yourself when you make these. It's a complete assumption, really based on nothing. Uh, he JCB could look. Forest Fen's a perfect example. Yes, Yellowstone's beautiful, but if 9 Mile Hole is where it was hidden, that's not a beautiful spot. It looks just like what you're looking at on my screen. I mean, basically, it's just woods. That's all it is in there. Um, so I don't think people, I mean, you can assume whatever you want, but I think it's a mistake to just assume that it's hidden in this beautiful, incredible place. You know, yeah, probably most of them are, but maybe there's one, like you said, maybe one's a combination of urban and rural, or it's not necessarily beautiful. It's just maybe a different type of beautiful, more not the traditional sense. I mean, there's no reason for me. I don't believe there's anything in the redwoods. We already, because well, I believe in Lake Tahoe, so I don't think he's not going to put something in California, Nevada, and Colorado, or in Wyoming or in New Mexico. Those are all right next to each other. That takes up three of the five boxes. So I think he's purposely leaving out California and North Carolina because I think it's cleaner for him that way since he doesn't live. That's the two, I guess, the two states he's most associated with, from what I understand. So yeah, yeah, right, Brian, exactly. He could think whatever is beautiful. Or, you know what? Even if he might not even think it's beautiful, he may have another reason he wanted to put it there. Maybe not because he thinks it's beautiful, but maybe he had a important memory from that spot or something, whatever. I don't think we can get in judge what the location just looks like just on our preconceived notions. I mean, look, the Forrest Fenn box, he says it's set in Marvel gaze. Okay, well, if you want to take that to mean it's in a beautiful place, okay. I mean, that's reasonable. Certainly that could be. But for the other ones, I don't, like Pokemon, I don't know what, from all accounts, the way he's read it, it's just forest mostly, maybe swamp, right? Some swamp, some forest, you know. Doesn't sound like it's going to be incredibly beautiful. It might be, but and if it's in, Mississippi, Alabama, or down along I-10 corridor, there's not going to be any mountains, so there's not going to be anything that's necessarily beautiful. You're looking at swamp and wherever along there. Animal habitat, yeah, could be, sure. I mean, he does say wildlife was all around me or something like that. So yeah, absolutely, it could be something like that. But if he hit it at a zoo, well, that'd be private property, I guess, right? Although some cities own their zoos, maybe. Anybody want to give out what state they believe? Well, I think everyone might be searching. I think so. Kelly said she's doing Force Fen. Brian, are you doing Pokemon? Sure, yeah, that makes sense, Huli. Blossom time, beautiful flowers. Yeah, he could be a flower guy. Yes, if it's in the southeast. Oh well, do you consider Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas the southeast? Certainly, Texas isn't southeast. I think you can make the argument. Some people would make the argument Louisiana is. I don't know. Is there an official designation of what states are included in southeast? In Colorado for Fen. Yeah, there you go. Are you in Tahoe for word search? Oh, go fetch? No. That's the AT box, Kelly. I That's the one I can't really speak on too intelligently. Oh, your search area is too big. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's pretty much what K-Pro's saying. Generally speaking, I think it's in that park. I couldn't tell you where, but and you can get up on there on Street View and Google, and there are some beautiful views from up on that on the one of those trails. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Utah is. Oh, you mean in addition to the Fen box in Utah? Yeah, I don't think so. Evidence to point to Utah? Maybe. That one I don't know. I haven't seen any Utah solutions or anyone talk about it. And just for the record, I did do my own word search and the basics, but I didn't do work on any of the ciphers after that. Tahoe, yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. Well, Brian, I mean, the Tahoe Solve, in that park, there really aren't that many trails. If you look at, now this isn't, it's not the end all be all, but we know JCB has said that should be pretty easy and, nothing too strenuous. The average person can do it. So again, in just to eliminate, I go on all trails and I basically only focus on the ones that say easy. And if you look at those in that park, there's only one that says easy, I think. Now, it's not to say it couldn't be one that says moderate, but you know, I I, I just think that's the way I've been working it. Again, it's just for the sake of eliminating and narrowing down. It's just like you said, there's just too much out there. You got to have some method of getting to a lesser number of results. Many foreign words. Yeah. Golf ski tracks in history. Anyone got the Coltrane reference on the Pokemon? I keep going back to that because I just totally, it has me. I'm under the spell of the Pokemon chapter. I mean, really, because the Fen, I have my full solution and I'm not going to change it. The word search, I'm really not going to go any further with it. I don't have the desire to do all these crazy ciphers and stuff. The AT, I haven't done any work on, so that's why it's just Pokemon all the time. And that video today, when I saw his comment on the man-made structure, man, that really got me going, got me thinking. Gosh, we've been around 9, 10 this whole time. It's a little odd. I think there's some. Just some people not wanting to that offend people not wanting to get on here and talk about JCB is my guess. I don't know. You put up stuff about the AT? Oh, okay. Davio, you still climbing? Dude, Davio, I saw the that video with the guy. What's his name? Oh shit. Fenny Bones. Fenny Bones with the song he made, and you're at the end. Yeah, it was funny to see that. You're too old. Ah, man. Alex, yeah, that's his name. I forgot. I know he revealed himself, but I couldn't remember. Fen Searcher Can't Survive. That's right. And he's got you at the end saying something like, "Oh, was it far out or weird or something?" What we got here? Well, we've been on a while. Again, I'm willing. I'm more willing to stay on, but looks like we're slowing down. We haven't got people jumping in or anything. This is really. I mean, most of the people here I think are new. Brian, you're new, right? And Kelly. I mean, Davio and Juli are old timers like me, but I mean new to this channel. So songs, Clue, EIO, World of Music. You still go to Yosemite? Oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, okay. Well, good. I'm glad. I you probably haven't gone through my channel or anything, but I don't do I started this channel after the Fenton box was found. Because I'm very, obviously I'm not showing my face, so I'm private. I didn't want to talk about my solution and all that. So once it was found, I started this and I posted my solution and started having these live streams after a while. And I was having them pretty regularly, but then I slowed down and I think I've had like this is my first one in months. Probably only had a handful in the last 2.5 years or so. But now with JCB, I'll probably be coming back maybe a little more often and doing these. I usually do them on the weekends. Every now and then I do a weeknight one, but usually it's kind of like this. I'm sitting around. I don't have the kids, and it's an afternoon. I'll get on and shoot the crap about the treasure and stuff. And hopefully, we'll get some more people as time goes on. The other thing is so many people talk in the Discord, there's not a whole lot of need to come out to videos and chat. Although I don't talk in the Discord, so this is my outlet. Brown for me, Titanic Survivor in Fen or in JCB or both. My Brown in Fen was one of the buildings there because if you look at the paint, there's a whole booklet on National Park Service paint. And the actual brown color was called something brown, capital B. So that was my home of brown. Lurking is learning. Damn right, Brian. I lurk plenty. I'm always watching and reading and listening. I've put in here and there. I mean, I've put in some stuff today, but yeah, I don't. And I'm so convinced if these people, and God bless them, but uh, you're gonna say 100% where it is, you're definitely wrong. I mean, you know, that's just that. I think a person who's that sure is going to keep it to themselves and just go get it. Many Browns. Oh God, yeah. You can make anything brown. And it's so funny. I was so in the Fen. I was so against the brown trout. Oh, and that's what it freaking turned out being. I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't even the generic brown. It was the name. The name of the fish. His name was Brown. I mean, what the hell? How the hell are you supposed to know that? Don't get me started. Ugh. Paint colors? Yeah. See, it was called Park. Like shit. It was a whole booklet. It was like 30 pages. It's unbelievable that they even have something like this, but it was a whole booklet of paint colors for the National Park Service. They had them for signs and for bathrooms and for freaking every building you can imagine had a color. And for these buildings, it was called either MPS Brown, maybe. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, beaver pelt. Yeah, it could be anything, dude. Or a beaver dam, or it could, as people joked back then, in the toilet, right? I mean, it could have been literally. It was so much. Yeah, man. So I was, and I know, I mean, I don't even want to get started. I know I got a couple of the scrapbooks right, and I did. I'm pretty confident I figured out a couple things. Nothing major, I'm not saying, but I was just in the wrong starting point, well, just like everybody else. Oh, and in the book, when he used the word dumb, that was a clue. He used the word dumb, I think, 7 times in the book, and everything that followed related to a line in the poem. For instance, he said, "I want to cross a dumb street." He was talking about crossing the river. When he said, "Get out of the dumb car," he was talking about parking. Yeah, my spot was on Sotaview Creek, just north, or excuse me, southwest of the entrance, northeast entrance, about 800, 700, 800 feet southwest of the northeast entrance. Hey, we got 13. Jump in, people. Welcome. Anything is welcome here, but if you want we're talking JCB, Forest Fan, whatever you want. How many years? Oh, goodness. Well, I'm on record as saying the small boxes, I think at least three will be found by the end of next summer. So before the next, snowfall of 2025. But or by like September of this year. But the big one, I have no idea. I mean, the big one could be 5 years. But like people have said, you never really know if your puzzle's good or not till you put it into action, right? 10 years or longer. Yeah, see, I don't have the treasure hunting stamina to go 10 years with this thing. I did like two or three with Fenn or whatever it was and drove me nuts. I mean, if it's not found, the small boxes aren't found this year, I might give it up. I don't know. Come on, guys, jump on in, chat with us. You guys just lurking and listening. At least say hello. Oh, we just lost someone. Fickle crew today. So I went back, I went back a couple days ago to see if I could stomach that video AGK put up. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I made it a little longer this time, but not much longer. I think I made 4 minutes the first time, then the other day I think I went about 10 or maybe 8. It's like hard to listen to. It's very hard to watch. It's just kind of creepy. Under a beaver dam. Yeah, there you go. Brian, you live in the southeast too? So you made that trip as well? It's not an easy trip. More book sales. Well, what he made what he sold 100,000 on the second printing? Is that the number I heard? Tomatoes 10. I, I I shouldn't laugh. I know you're probably serious. Oh shit. I don't know why I think that's so funny. I can't stop laughing. Oh my goodness. Look, Toby owes me $1,000, so I'm never gonna stop on that. I'm taking that to my grave. I'm gonna be yelling about that. It's like from Better Off Dead to you owe me $2. Where's my $2? Where's my 1,000, Toby? And Dave Woodard, where's my 1,000? And CRW41 or whatever his handle was on Hint of Riches owes me 1,000. Got 3 grand laying out there. People owe me. Actually, the CRW guy said we made a bet for charity, so actually he owes my charity of my choice $1,000. Hey Casper, welcome. Glad to see someone join us. What do you have going on, Casper? You're a JCB searcher, and if so, what are you looking for? Pokemon, Forest Fan. What's your story? Let the 1,000 go? Never, never. And it wasn't just 1,000. I got a whole freaking history with him. He like banned me for nothing. So sensitive for a big mean Vietnam guy. He's so sensitive. Hey Dave, what's up? Good to see you. Glad you stopped by. I've seen you on the Discord, right? What box are you focusing on? I can't remember. See, look at that. My old picture was Yellowstone, and it was such a nice picture. This is like so ugly and ratty. Ugh. I had some nice mountain shots with some snow, and Could word search be a blueprint? Um, yeah, I guess it could be. And but in what sense? Like, what do you when you say blueprint? I'm not exactly sure. I know what you mean. Just Dave's a word search. Dave, you're a word search, right? Very simple shape. Well, how would you? Brian, I guess I'm not understanding how you'd apply it. You're drowning in the book. That's cool, Dave. I haven't read any of really. I mean, I've read a little bit, but not much of the first part. I've read all of the small chapters. I'm also convinced. One reason is I'm also convinced that that's not going to be found for a while, so I got plenty of time for that. I've read a little bit to try to help me with the smaller boxes. Yeah, it's pretty bland, isn't it, Holy? I know. There were definitely some decent spots to hide here. I mean, not many, but there were some. Now, in fairness, behind where I'm taking this shot from is a like a pool, and there's some wildlife and stuff. So it's not quite as bad as this picture indicates, but it was still pretty blah. After it's clued up, drowning in just pictures. Oh, the pictures through the chapters. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm only focused on one picture, that damn Pokemon picture. I swear, this app is called Photor. I think Fotor. It's pretty fantastic app, but I ran the photo through there, and I spent hours on it. I couldn't come up with squadouche, nothing. I was changing colors, infrared, negative, double, mirrored, you name it. I tried it, and I got nothing. I've put a black light on the photo. I've looked at the photo with the black light through the back. I've done it with a flashlight. Man, nothing. Well, if I could post it here, I would. Let's see if can I somehow? I don't think so. Let's see if I can do it here. I'll try. Let's see. Oh, maybe. Okay, there you go. Does that work? Do you guys see that? Oh, I didn't switch it. I switched it. Oh, there we go. Now it's a little like this one is a saved of one I played with. It's a little fine tuned. The edges you'll see are a little sharper, maybe, but this is basically it's the same image. And that Japanese dollar thing I was telling you about is shit. It's just off over here on the edge, so you can't even see it. But anyways, you can get an idea. This is the Yeah, Kelly, this is the last thing in the Pokemon chapter. He claims it's a well here. I'll read it. Hold on. I'm gonna feed my dog here in a minute. That night, as I rested back in my hotel room, I opened my phone to review the pictures I had taken. To my dismay, Almost every photo I'd shot was terribly overexposed. Perhaps it had something to do with taking photographs of expanded reality. I had no idea. Oddly, only one picture was preserved well enough to make any sense out of it. I don't even remember taking this photo, although I do reckon it was closer to the end of our day. This snapshot is now the only evidence that any of this adventure ever happened at all. I felt the least I could do was share it with you in this book. So there you go. That's the famous Pokemon picture. I swear, it's like I took something because the longer I look at this thing, the more faces I see. I see all kinds of stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I can't even say some of the things I've seen in this. It's embarrassing. No, I'm definitely not giving up my anonymity for the gram. That's true. I'm sure on my next live it will come up again. Whenever I see Toby's name, someone brings up his name, I'll be like, he owes me $1,000. A Jack's identity is priceless in Ready Player. See, Mewtwo is up. Well, he's kind of brushed off with that editing software I use, but you can see Mewtwo. Now, see, I see a frog. I haven't heard anyone mention the frog, but to me, it's pretty obvious the frog. I don't know. And then you got like these little heads of turtles or something. I don't know, man. Or a lizard or very strange. Is it a dream? Well, I hope not, because then that means he didn't hide the chest. I hope it's not a dream. And the other thing that's odd is the reflections in what presumably is water, but I guess we don't know for sure. The reflections are slightly different than what you see on top. A dinosaur? Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, this thing will play tricks on you. This upper left corner, something going on. I don't know. Rorschach test, yeah. Yeah, especially the bottom, right? The bottom half. I held this to the mirror. I mean, I've done everything with this, short of, cutting it up into pieces and trying to rearrange it. I don't know what anyone's supposed to get from this. I mean, yeah, we see Mewtwo, but what does that mean that Mewtwo is here? I mean, I don't know enough about Pokemon. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep this picture up. This is better. It's more appropriate than my ugly Louisiana boots on the ground photo. There's a Mewtwo. It's hard to see it. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. If your screen looks like, okay, so if you look straight above the settings gear wheel on the bottom of your viewer and you go straight up about 2/3 of the way, there's a Mewtwo standing there. And then to the left of him, about, well, I guess it depends how big your monitor is. I was going to say about an inch and a half, just to the left and above is the frog I see. But then that's it. I mean, I have to turn this thing upside down. Well, maybe not far right, above your settings gear wheel, straight up about two-thirds of the top. It's not the best picture. You probably could see it better in your book if you just get a magnifying glass. Here, it's a little, the edges are kind of brushed, so it's not as detailed or as sharp. I mean, it's not sharp. I mean, like I see what looks like a guy in a tuxedo standing upside down. Oh, I think I need some rest. What the heck? Hello? What happened? Did I lose everybody? Oh, no. Okay. I mean, I see like a pinky finger. I see it's all very strange. 10 different. I mean, it beats me, bro. Beats me. I have no idea. Over on the far right, I had it looks like kind of like a sandbox with a shovel sticking into it, two-thirds of the way up on just to the top above the water that we see on the very far right. There's like a stick pointing into a white square area. It's kind of like a sandbox with a shovel, or I don't know. It's probably some tie-in with the Allison through the Looking Glass reference and the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe reference. Maybe, but I haven't been able to connect it. Oddly enough, Alice, and then you have Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains. Maybe there's some kind of connection there. I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah, I see all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, really, it's really strange. I even went on to Upwork and tried to hire some like professional photo editors and that kind of thing. And I had like three or four respond and they could not help. They had no idea. And then one guy, this other guy's, his response was he sent it back to me, and on the bottom it said rocks. He wrote, and on the water it says water, and on the top he put rocks. I'm like, thanks, Dewey. I already had that much. Oh, so much for a professional editor. Yeah, I mean, Casper, I tried everything I could with that software. I mean, like this stuff on the bottom looks like like he cut up a photo and dropped it on the bottom and spread it out. Like those look like pieces from other photos to me. Um, and even on the top. So like where you see the black at the top, those all that black, those black spots look like maybe they're parts of another photo. What the hell? I don't know. And then you have different colors. So like parts, these splotchy parts that look yellow on here, they're kind of greenish in the book. And I thought maybe that could help somehow. And I even bought freaking those red and blue 3D glasses. Nothing. That didn't help either. So I definitely put in my time on this photograph. All right, guys. I think we'll wait a couple minutes in case you guys want to ask anything else. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap it up. We've been on two. We're dropped back down to six people. So I don't think we're going to build this up any more than we already did. And I'm kind of running out on stuff to say. I mean, I know everyone sees those like little turtle heads on top of the water, right? Or lizard heads, or I mean, I don't know, man. And Mewtwo is pointing at something. Although I thought that too, but then yesterday I was looking at it, I'm like, maybe it kind of looks like he's holding something, like he's gripping like I don't know, some kind of small can or something. Oh, could it be the jar of flies? Did Mewtwo steal the jar of flies? Oh, maybe. I'll have to look into that. Oh, we got people coming back. He's definitely holding something. I ordered this badass mega super duper magnifying glass from Amazon. It's got a ring light on it. I mean, it's awesome. And it's got a C charger to recharge it. Do you think the text holds the answers to this pick? I've thought about that. If I mean it could, I don't know. I haven't figured it out if it does. But certainly that's a possibility. Violet Creek. Yeah. And all those all those hints in his story too about when he's in New Orleans. It's all very odd. He says like I leapt up on the bar and the bartender did a double take, but I didn't notice. Well, then how do you know he did a double take if you didn't notice? It's all strange. I don't know if it's intentional, if it's poor writing, or maybe a little combination of both. There's a brontosaurus, Kelly. Hey, I'm with you. For his purple outfits, yeah. You know, it's funny. The best answer I heard about the purple outfits, and I was like, I had no reason to disbelieve him. Plus, it matched my solution. Was Rob G. Rob G said that he thought the purple sweater that Forrest wore was because on the what's the name of the company's map book? Shit, I forget the name of the company. Is it Benchmark? The map, the where it has all the lands as BLM, MPS, NFS. The MPS land was purple color. So he was wearing that sweater to tell us that it was on a national park. And damn it, that was a great observation by Rob G. All credit to him. Combo words and picks. I hope, I mean, this is hope really more than think, but I hope that you don't have to decipher shit in the Pokemon box, and that is all left up to the word search. I'm hoping it's just straight from the story and you figure it out, just like the Forrest Fenn. Because we got to start doing, you know, the fifth letter and the third line of the second paragraph shit. I'm out. I'm out. I agree, Kelly. I did a whole video. I've done multiple videos on why it's in Yellowstone. Don't get me started. I'm gonna get started again. I'll tell you my number one because I like it. And this is one that no one will push me off of. I'll die on this hill. You know, he always says 265 gold coins in the box. 265th day of the year is September 22nd. It's the last day of summer. And that's where he hit it, right? The last day of summer is where warm water halts, the last day of summer. And then he tells a story, scrapbook 107, I think, about going to renew his license. And in New Mexico, the license has to renew within 30 days or within a month of your birthday. His birthday is August 22nd. He went to renew his license September 22nd. So that scrapbook is him talking about hiding the chest at Yellowstone. So there you go. You hate ciphers? Yes. Get in line. Me too. Because the thing about ciphers is there's an element of luck, right? Outside of skill. Because, I could know nothing and I can make a cipher that's 10 ciphers upon three of them, upon six of them, and you'll never guess it. I can make it however I want. That's the problem. That's why I don't like ciphers. Because you just have to guess, trial and error. I don't like that. Kelly, are you a DB Cooper believer? Brian? It's gonna be tough to transition this to JCB searchers. Shit, what did I just ask you? Can't even remember. Senior moment. Good. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, me neither. That's what I asked you. That's right, DB Cooper. Yeah, I never was a believer. It's an interesting story, and there's some things in that ha 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 book that seem to line up, but yeah, I don't buy it. I know Ben at Treasure Warriors was all into it, and Alan Kay, but that was not my thing. I mean, when you have the stewardess look at a picture of Fenn and say, "No, that's not him," well, I think that's. I know the whole thing about witness testimony and all that, but come on, the guy looks nothing like him. Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, we had a little late push there, but we're back down to five. So not that you five aren't important, but we're out of I think we're out of stuff to chat about, no? Yeah, enjoyed it, guys. Oh, look at that. I got a phone call. Hold on one second. Honey, can I call you right back? I'm doing a stream on Fen. Let me call you back. All right. All right. Bye. This is my daughter. Sorry guys. All right, unless a new person jumps in here and asks a question, we're gonna shut it down. He was a genius in ours, but made his own rules. Yeah. Yeah, Kelly. I loved when I heard him say that. That made me very happy. I mean, he made it sound like the majority of the boxes you can either pinpoint or get really close. So that's welcome. I was really glad to hear that. And it's cool because it kind of fits with my fence solution because I my solution takes me to a pretty general area, like I'd say 20 by 20 feet, maybe something like that. So not too big. All right, Huli. Nice chatting with you. I'll see you around the Discord. It includes an eggs and music. Yeah. Yeah, that music angle. All right. Anything else, guys? Anyone else want to say something before we wrap up? All right, Brian. Thank you. Thanks for coming by, y'all. And I don't know. We'll do another one soon, probably. I'm getting crazy with the Pokemon box, so I'll probably want to chat some more not too long from now. Anyways, everyone have a good day, good weekend, and we'll see you around.